I'd like to start the program by inviting Dr. Amir Ayub, who's the founder member of the charity, and he's going to give us an overview about FAMS.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you very much for coming over. People have come here from Ireland, Birmingham, London, and we are indebted to them for helping us out in this cause. 15 years, we never thought we would make it. So what has changed? 15 years back, FAMS did not have any office. FAMS did not have any staff members, salaried. FAMS did not have any traveling expenses or any other expenses, electricity and all that stuff. 15 years on, today, FAMS still doesn't have any office. We still have no salaried staff here in UK, and we have no other expenses as well. So, what do we have? Yes, we have. We have hundreds of poor students who are now working in society as proud, qualified doctors. That is what we have. And we have hundreds of poor medical students going through different years of medical school at this stage. Yes, that's what we have. The students whom we have been supporting these years, there are some of them who had not seen that money in their wildest dreams. These students had gone into medical school on merit, and on the very first day they were asked to pay 120,000 rupees or something like that. And as one student said to me, Dr. Saab, I have never even seen this much amount of money in my family, nor my father has. And these were the students who are asked to just leave the college because they cannot pay their fee. And that is what we have changed. These students are the first generation in their families who have ever got admission into medical schools. They come from very humble backgrounds, from villages, tiny towns, where there's hardly any electricity, and they have made it through the MBBS, a very hard 5 years of training and teaching. We are proud to have supported them. And how we have supported them in the last 15 years? It's because of you guys. It's because of you people, very kind friends, who have supported us all the way. There are people sitting here in this hall who were with us 15 years ago when we started, and they are still with us. Sajjad Karim sitting here has been here with us all the way, and he just comes to support us every time, except when he is in his European role where he is away, so he can't make it. But most of the time, we have had a great support from all this. And there are other faces as well. If I start naming them, it will be too long. The last year or 18 months, as Dr. Lala Khan said, have been very difficult. And we didn't know what to do, because for the whole 1 year, we didn't have any annual event. But then nature has been helping. Only a few months back, I had a call from one of our colleagues in Ireland who said that, Amir bhai, we have heard about FAMS and we want to help. And this is when our annual event could not take place because of COVID. And we didn't know how we would raise the funds. And this colleague of mine from Dublin rallied around in Ireland for FAMs, worked hard, arranged a Zoom conference, a fundraising conference. And on that very one evening, we managed to arrange sponsorship for 22 students. That colleague of mine has traveled all the way from Dublin to attend our event, and I would like to ask him to come on the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Dr. Muhammad Tariq. Dr. Tariq is a consultant pediatrician in Dublin, a very well-known figure in Ireland. And I would just, Tariq, thank you very much for coming all the way from Ireland. Just want to say if you can say a few words, please.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Thank you very much, Amir bhai. First of all, for giving us opportunity to do something for our colleague. When I was speaking with Amir bhai at that time, I asked him, Amir bhai, please tell us how does FAM work and how does FAM operate? And then at that time, we recall our time in medical college. We have seen our colleague, those who are going through a very hard time or tough time. And I thought that God has given us this opportunity to help our colleague. So that's where we started our journey. And Alhamdulillah, I'm very grateful for my Irish team and very grateful for every member of our Irish team who supported us and all our sponsor from Ireland who sponsored these. And inshallah, Amir bhai, I can give you this guarantee that we are with you, we will be with you, and we'll be keep sponsoring FAMs, inshallah.
Thank you very much. In the words of Nelson Henderson, the true meaning of life is to plant trees under whose shade you do not expect to sit yourself. By sponsoring these kids, you're actually helping plant the trees of education in a very enriched soil, which is these students who are really, really clever, and they already have fertilized, done their GCSEs and everything, and you're just making them grow in their life. And all your support goes towards that. Can you imagine the gratitude, the fulfilling feeling you have by supporting such students? And that shows the true meaning of charity, support, and sponsorship. I'd like to invite Dr. Huma Chaudhry Dr. Bushra to come on the stage now. She's a GP as well as an undergraduate trainer as well as a tutor.
Bismillah. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I would like us to apologies. I'd like us to have a think. How much does it cost to train a doctor? In 2005, the annual fees were 32,000 rupees. In 2020, those fees are quadrupled to approximately 126,000 rupees. This covers tuition, accommodation, and food. And this is an annual charge. So don't forget, it takes 5 long, hard years to achieve the MBBS course. And the average household income is only 30 to 50,000 rupees. So that level of fees for 1 year is unachievable for so many, which is really unfortunate. And that's where FAMS comes in. We pride ourselves on a very robust selection process where the applicants are invited to apply by their respective medical schools. They are shortlisted on financial need and academic merit. They are interviewed very rigorously, and the successful applicants are forwarded to the board here in the UK and then we will agree and award the final scholarships. The funds are transferred directly into the medical school bank account from FAMS. No individual or personal bank account payments are made. We don't support students in private medical colleges, and the college must be recognised by the Pakistan Medical and Dental Council, the equivalent of the GMC in the UK. The conditions of the scholarship are such that the students must have satisfactory attendance, satisfactory achievement in their annual exams, satisfactory annual conduct report by the principal, and they also should have annual assessments of their financial circumstances. Any false claims would lead to immediate termination, and to date we have never had to enforce this. So since December 2019, we're in a very different world since coronavirus has hit. So what has FAMS been doing? Although we had to cancel our 2020 fundraising event, sponsorship has continued. We've had generous support from people who have set up standing orders to continually support FAMS year after year. We have established an Ireland chapter who have registered their support and also started sponsoring students. In 2020, we were contacted by a charity based in Dubai called Euro Charity. They sent their representatives to Pakistan and interviewed the selection committees and also the students themselves. They were so impressed, they committed to sponsoring 50 students for 5 years. In 2021, they have also committed to sponsor a further 25 students for 5 years. In this new cohort, we have had many students who have lost their breadwinner due to COVID, or their livelihoods have been lost due to the financial and economic impacts that COVID has had. So it really is essential that we raise these funds because the need is really there. We are currently supporting students throughout Pakistan across 14 medical colleges, from far north in Peshawar and Muzaffarabad, all the way down south to near Karachi. Currently, we are supporting 260 students across Pakistan. At FAMS, we are all about female empowerment and we do not discriminate. And approximately 40% of our students are female. To date, we have 112 qualified doctors directly as a consequence of FAMS funding. So that's in total 372 students who are realising their potential and achieving their dreams of becoming doctors directly as a consequence of FAMS funding and your generous support. So really hope that you support us further and we can sponsor more students and help them achieve their dreams. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bushra. What amazing statistics. दुआ तो दिल से मांगी जाती है, जुबान से नहीं है इकबाल. कबूल तो उसकी भी होती है जिसकी जुबान नहीं होती. Believe me, for these extraordinary students, you are their lifeline. You are the source of changing their destiny with God's will. And I would strongly again endorse what Bushi and Amar Bhai have said, that for these kids, changing their course of life is in your hands. Next, I would like to invite Humagari, who's a GP, as well as an aesthetic doctor, as well as a clinical director.
Assalamualaikum everybody, and I'm Huma Gauri for those of you who don't know me. I'm going to walk you through some case studies about our students and the kind of students that your donations are sponsoring. So it was back in 2019, December, where after 20 years, I was fortunate enough to take a trip to Pakistan, a personal trip for a family wedding. And Aoife there in the green scarf was a girl that I met the very first time on the trip, and she took lots of photos of Pakistan, and you can see how beautiful and vibrant and what a lovely country it is. But during this time, I was able to visit some of the medical colleges, and this is me at Fatima Jinnah Medical University in Lahore. I did not know that it was a female-only medical college, and the only female-only medical college, but it was fantastic to see these girls studying without any constraints of gender bias. I was able to chat with them, and I asked them what they would like me to tell you, their donors and sponsors. And one of the girls in the photo said, "Tell them it's life-changing." So I said, "Okay, but tell me why is it life-changing?" And she told me a story that literally brought tears to my eyes. She goes, I had a male brother, well, I had a male brother, but he died in a road traffic accident. And the domestic abuse that my mother suffered got worse after this, but she endured it because my father was a sole breadwinner and she wanted me to be educated. But after one particular episode, she was unconscious and she ended up in a women's refuge. It was here in the refuge because when they moved there, along with them vanished any dreams of that girl's further education. She was a bright student, she'd completed her A-levels, but that was it. No money, no further progression. And in fact, just surviving was difficult enough. But somebody in the refuge advised them about FAMS, and I think it's a really nice moment to reflect and see that FAMS is known out there, and actually people feel that they can turn to that charity, to this charity, and this girl is now a successful medical student at Fatima Jinnah. I then went on to RMU, or Rawalpindi Medical University, and here I met lots and lots of students. These are all FAMS scholarship students, and I was able to have a big question and answer session with them. And we talked about the similarities and difficulties and differences of medical schools in the UK and in Pakistan. And it was good to know that hostel food is dire wherever you study. And whilst I was there, one student, he is called Hassan, he came forward and he said, "Tell them about me." Hassan is one of 8 siblings and he comes from a place called Khanpur near the northwest frontier. His father is a farmer and his mother is a housewife, and their monthly income is 10 to 15,000 rupees. Now that meant nothing to me. Born and brought up in the UK, that could be anything. But I worked out that that was about 45 to 65 pounds a month. And when you put it like that, it really hits home how hard these people work for the money that they earn. So the annual income was 430, and if they had an excellent farm year, to £750. Now, the average medical school fee is £650 annually. So you can see why this suddenly becomes an impossible dream for these students. And, you know, their parents, on a bad year, the whole annual income would not pay for 1 year at medical school. So Hassan applied, and I'm very pleased to say that he is now a second-year medical student. His career aspiration was to become a doctor, but he was facing the reality of becoming a driver, and that would be so much talent wasted. These students that FAMS sponsors really are the creme de la creme of students. We don't ask anything of them, we don't have any expectations of them, we just want them to study and graduate and become great doctors. But here you can see Hassan with some little students, and this is from a charity called Steps Ahead. What they can't put back financially, they put back in other ways. And here he is giving his time to teach other students and other young kids to get ahead in life. I do love this photo because you can see that the little kid in the orange jacket just really doesn't want to be there. But it just demonstrates how much they want to put back and how grateful they are. And this is a ripple effect of FAMs. These students often support other students financially or their siblings when they can. They donate their time setting up blood transfusion centres. They actually really are remarkable. So that was Hassan. And this is a doctor now called Wajiha Jamshed. She's another deserving FAM student. Her father was a mill worker and her mother was a teacher. And their combined monthly income was 30,000 rupees, so annually about £1,500. Remember, the annual medical school fee is £650. So they said, you know what, we're going to try and put you through medical school, we'll make cutbacks and we're going to send you. So she didn't get a FAM scholarship and she joined SIMS, which is a medical college in Lahore. But she's one of four, and this is her with Amir Ayub. And after her first year, despite acing her exams and passing them, she was unable to continue. The family became financially destabilized. They were in arrears with their rent. The mother had sold all her jewellery, but it really was a choice. Do we educate the four children to an A-level standard, or do we exclusively concentrate on one? It's really not a choice any parent can make. And they said, come home, you know, the time is finished. We really tried, but we couldn't continue. So Wajiha was coming home when she met another student from a neighbouring college, Allama Iqbal Medical College, and he was a recipient of FAMS. And he told her about FAMS, and she applied. And there she is with Amir Ayub in his younger days, Amir Bhai, in Pakistan, and her father. Wajiha, I'm pleased to say, graduated in 2017. And she's doing a training program in diagnostic radiology in Bahawal Victoria Hospital in Bahawalpur. Well, of course, what I really like about Wajiha is that she's married with a child, but she continues to work. She's all about empowering women, which obviously I'm very much for. She does this by mentoring women and advising them how to juggle a family life and a career. Very deserving, actually, of the FAM Scholarship Programme. And she set up a house officers fund, so when the junior doctors were working, they would donate a percentage of their salary to pay for the medical bills of the poorest patients that were in hospital. And this was usually for their pathology or diagnostic reports, which were the most expensive. And that's Wajiha on her graduation day, and she's making waves. So it just remains for me to say thank you for listening, and please continue to support us like you are doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Bushra, Huma. That is truly inspiring. And what we need to remember is in this charity, every penny that you give goes directly to the students. There are no hidden charges. There are no hidden expenses. I don't think there are many charities that can say that. Every penny that you give goes directly to the students, directly for their fees. We not only offer the student fees, but also hostel fees, so that they can finish their education with a full stomach, because that's one thing we realized, that a lot of children didn't have enough money to eat. Can you imagine how difficult it is for these kids? And can you imagine how much difference you're making in their lives? It's absolutely stupendous. I'd like to invite Sajjad Kareem, who has supported the charity throughout all the years as former MEP, to come on the stage and say a few words for us. Thank you.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is once again indeed a real pleasure to be present here to support the activities of FAMS. There really is nothing further I can say to you about this particular charity. Of course, working from the United Kingdom as a British registered charity doing such fantastic work directly on the ground in Pakistan is really a matter of pride for all of us, particularly those in the room presently now who have supported their work since 2005 and onwards. As I was sitting and watching some of the slides, I was reminded of an occasion actually that really instilled in me the value of supporting work like this. And it was the stories that we were hearing about recipients and how they themselves then go on to set up worthwhile enterprises to assist and help others along the way. And I recall when I graduated from university, I was lucky enough to, at the graduation, to receive my passing out, as it was, from Sir Roy Jenkins, who had been a political hero of mine. You might think as a Tory that's quite a strange thing, but he was. And he said one thing to all of us students who were gathered in the hall that day. He said, "You are all going to go on to do fantastic things, but you must ensure you adopt a course." And many of us followed that advice. And one thing that I've learned over that time is that you adopt a course thinking you are going to give. And I'm sure Amr, Lala, Bushra, Huma, the whole team set up on this mission believing that they were going to give. But actually, you receive far more than you give. And that message, I hope, to all of you that are here today, we think we are supporting charities, organizations like FAMS, and that we are going to give of our time, we are going to give of our resources, we're going to give of our networks. But actually, in reality, you receive far more than you give. So I encourage you all to support the work that FAMS is doing. And because the work is currently being undertaken on the ground in Pakistan, Pakistan as a country today, now immediately, is facing another huge challenge. And that is because of the situation that is unfolding in Afghanistan. Now, I don't know if FAMS has been able to give any immediate concentration to that new challenge that exists, because amongst those new refugees that are coming into Pakistan, there will be many talented young people who need support in order to come through medical colleges. So I think a particular attention needs to be paid in that direction as well. And then very finally, from my own perspective, there's very little actually that I've been able to do to support Amr and the team over these years, other than come and give my moral support in the way that I am doing here now. But what I say to you, Amr, as I always have said, is this, that I remember the very first days when FAMS was established and you started on this journey. And when the team started, it was a small handful of people. But because the mission was right, today look at this room and much further afield. And I know Dr. Tariq is here from Ireland. I thank you for all you have done for FAMS. And I'm sure that this work will go from strength to strength. Now, Amr, as you carry on now on this journey, is going to keep growing. And please rest assured that anything that I can do from the respective roles that I have, whether it be in London, Brussels, or Paris, I remain entirely at your disposal to help in any way or function that I possibly can. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have got a lovely auction afterwards as well as entertainment. But we're going to take a little break and have some starters first because I believe a lot of you have come from far and wide as well. So we'll have starters, a bit of catch up, and then start again.
Hey there. Subscribe to my channel. And also press this bell icon.
You're watching GSTV UK. Keep watching.